Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Susan Lynn, Psychic Medium. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. So, listen, my guides, well, first of all, I speak to my spirit guides on the daily. They just basically take up some rent-free space in my head and talk a lot to me about my diet mostly. But anyway, more importantly, I need to talk to you about discernment, which means, knowing when to trust something or someone or an energy and when not to. And I need to talk to you about the veil between the worlds is thinning. And I need to talk to you about some experiences that I and a lot of other psychics and mediums that I know are having. Now, I want to talk to you about these things because you're going to have these same experiences. And I'm always saying forewarned is forearmed, right? This is not meant to scare you. This is really not meant to scare you. It's in many ways, it's not scary stuff. It's stuff that we prepare for. You know, look, is a snowstorm scary? No, you go get salt. You make sure that you have whatever you need, right? Same thing for us down in the South. Hurricanes, we prepare for them. We know what we need to do. We all have things in different parts of the country that we prepare for and that we just don't enjoy maybe to the max, right? But we just get through them. So, same thing with this. Now, some of you do enjoy this stuff, and I'm sure you guys are all in the front row with your popcorn, ready to have some great stories. Now, I also know that there's quite more of you in the back row watching like this. Right? I know who you are. I'm one of you. I'm one of you. I don't find aliens fascinating. I find them scary. So, listen, we're all together in this movie theater, and this is kind of how they're showing me it. I'm on a screen, and you guys are all in the audience. So we're all in this movie theater because we've gathered here today to learn some important things. Whether you want to know them or not, you're here because you feel compelled. Don't you? They've told me that there's going to be a lot of new viewers of this video. So welcome to my channel and welcome to this video. Please hit the like button and if you like the content. Okay, now here's what I want to help you with. Wow, so today just happens to be August 21st, 2021. How interesting in and of itself, right? You may be watching this video today or next week or next year or 5 years from now, who knows, right? And it doesn't matter because the information I'm going to tell you is going to be very relevant to you wherever and whenever you watch this video, okay? Because you're going to be led to this video. This is what they're telling me. So it's just going to be relevant to you. So here's the thing. Let me get going here. As I mentioned, let me just give you a little bit of background about me. I'm a psychic and a medium, but I didn't always know I was a psychic or a medium. I just thought I had really irritating experiences. For instance, when I was a little child, a little girl, I would see entities and things in my room at night, and it scared the living daylights out of me. It wasn't fun. I didn't have Glinda the Good Witch ride in on a unicorn and say, Susan, do you want to go for a trip? Want to go on a trip with us? No, I didn't have that experience. God bless you that did. Okay? Mix that with the fact that I lost my mom to cancer when I was very young. I was 7. I didn't need any more things that were unsettling, right? But yet here I was sensing energies, and my house was haunted. And it was really funny because my family, my dad never remarried, and we had some children in the house. At the time, I had a sister and a brother. I had 2 brothers and 2 sisters in the house. I had 2 older siblings that had already moved out. And it was just accepted that we had ghosts. We all talked about the ghost. We all had stories of the ghost. But we also laughed about it. It was weird. We told the stories, but it was understood that we didn't talk about this to anybody else. This is not something we ever talked about to our relatives ever. I'm telling you, all those people in my house, my family would look at you like you have lost your mind. We're never going to corroborate your story, right? So you didn't talk about this to anybody. That was the first thing that I knew. And secondly, I knew that even though we all knew these things were happening, that we couldn't take them so seriously as to blame the ghost when I broke a lamp. That wasn't gonna fly, right? My dad wasn't gonna go for that. But even my dad had stories of the bed, there being, a little, impression in the bed next to him while he was sleeping after my mother died. He thought it maybe was mom, right? But we all had stories. But because I was taught, and of course you go to school and you learn that even more, not to trust or even talk about these things, I basically tamped it down. Now, I would say out of all my siblings, I'm the one that got the biggest dose of it. I don't think there's one brother that also has this ability, but he's never accepted it, and he's quite a bit older than me, and I don't think he will. So there it is. Now, of course, I could trace this back on my family lines as well, on my mother's side and on my father's side. But I want to tell you guys that even though I was a psychic and a medium, this wasn't fun for me. I didn't like it. It didn't feel comfortable. And that's where you are today. Many of you may not feel comfortable with what is happening. That's what I want to talk about. The veil between the worlds is thinning. Now, I'm not going to have a lot of answers for you guys. I'm just not. I don't read tons and tons of books. I don't follow 50 people that talk about this stuff because, again, I've got all I can handle just being a psychic and a medium and doing this work every day and having the constant input of information from my spirit guides, okay? So I'm going to tell you what they're telling me to tell you. Of course, there may be people who really have answers and know a lot more than I do. Please find them, follow them, seek out those answers, get that information that you need to get, okay? No problem. But what I want to tell you is very practical because I'm a very practical person. Even when I'm giving readings, I don't just tell you this is going to happen. I go back to your spirit guides and I ask them, is there anything this person can do to mitigate it? Is there anything this person can do to make it happen faster, whether it's good or bad, right? So I'm always trying to give you tools. Okay, so here's what I want to tell you. The veil is thinning, you guys. Now, it does thin for some reason a couple of times a year. Sometimes people say around Halloween, okay? And I don't know why it thins other times of the year, but when it does, when the veil thins, and you may not be aware of the actual thinning of the veil, but what you'll be aware of is you'll hear things, you'll sense things, you'll get even more vibes about things than you normally do. Let's say if you're an empath person, you normally get vibes, good and bad, about energies and whatnot. But in this case, when the veil's thinning, you're really going to get information. You might actually hear someone call your name. You may have a very powerful dream where a passed over loved one comes through. Very real, like this could be real, but it was a dream. You may actually see that person briefly in your house. You may see more of those fleeting things, right, that go by in our periphery that we don't know what they are. We just see a shadow go by. Or you might have some of the experiences that I've been having. And I want to tell you that this is, I talked to my fellow psychics and mediums and they're having strange experiences too. And I want to say, that there's this thing called high strangeness. And I think this term might be from the 30s. I don't know. But, they just keep telling me that high strangeness. So that's something actually you can look up. But let me just tell you some of the things that have been happening to me. Now, y'all, I'm not normal. I'm not normal. I have ET experiences. I have always had ghost experiences. I've heard people call my name. I have had a very abnormal life, okay? But these things I'm going to tell you are even more abnormal. That's why I think I've been compelled to do this video. So, for instance, twice now in the past week, I have seen mist. Mist. M-I-S-T-S. Once in my living room, it was a gray mist that came over my head. I was on the couch and it came over my head and floated along the ceiling and floated past me and then it dissipated. It just dissipated. What's even more interesting is that my dog saw the same thing. We both were like, "Er?" And we looked at each other like, "Do you see that?" Yeah, we saw that. That was for real. That was real. So the second time I saw the mist, I'm walking the same dog. Now this dog is a very spiritual dog. She really is. I saw the mist against a tree. I'm walking in a very residential area. There's a house 10 foot from this tree. And here's this mist. In this case, it was lighter colored. It was more of a light, foggy, white color. And it was vertical. And it was against the tree. Or it was at least in line with the tree. Okay. But it was very close to the tree. And it was there for just, I don't know, a few seconds, maybe even more than a few seconds, maybe 5 seconds, 8 seconds, pretty long, right? Pretty long time. So, that's 2 times I saw mist. I've never seen mist before. I know some people have, but that's not something I've experienced. Today I saw, this morning, I didn't see, I've been hearing, okay, now you guys, honestly, I am the Ghostbuster, right? For real, I cross ghosts over. I have a lot of experience with ghosts. And my dog gets upset when there's certain ghosts around. Now, some ghosts she just doesn't care about. If you're the garden variety, irritated, grumpy ghost, she doesn't care. But if you've got a little bit of darkness to you, she cares. And she will be very upset. So she might be having an experience in the middle of the house where she's panting, crying, shaking, and there's no one here but me, or at least I think, right? So she had been having these experiences for a while, and off and on, and I've been removing things, and I heard, I was in the backyard. Now I have like a 1940s cottage. This is where I live. It's up off the ground about 3 feet on pier and beam. And it has lattice around it so that my dog can't get under there and wreck everything that's under there. I heard some knocking on the lattice. This was about 3 days ago. I heard knocking on the lattice. Well, I thought this dog lives to get under the house. I mean, this is her favorite thing. If she could get under there, there might be all kind of smells that she can find, or, you know, she's a boxer lab Great Pyrenees mix. So she has a lot of prey drive. I was upset. I thought, my gosh, somehow she's found a way to get under the lattice. And I go back in the house to get a flashlight, and there's my dog. She's not outside. She's not under the house. So I thought, well, that's weird. I really heard knocking. So I went back to the backyard, and I looked all around the perimeter of the house, and I made sure that the lattice was intact, and it was. So I just thought, well, I'm hearing things. I'm making things up. This is what we do, right? This is how we explain away our paranormal experiences. I'm just making things up. So fast forward to today, 3 days later, and I'm standing on the porch, and I'm watching my dog in the backyard for a moment. I'm just out there with her, and I heard, and I mean, well, I need to describe this. Okay, when you hear things, you can hear, that's clairaudience, by the way. When you hear things that aren't in this dimension, that is clairaudience. So, you can hear your name called, and you can really go looking for someone who called your name. Like, hello? Hello? What? I'm right here. But that's not real. Okay, so that's one way of clairaudience. Now, this thing I heard this morning was different. It was everywhere and nowhere. When I hear my name called, it's from one direction. I almost always hear it out of one ear, and it's from a certain direction. Okay? This was everywhere and nowhere. This is a very important thing that I need you to understand. It was right in front of me, like right here, yet it was surround sound. Now, what did I hear? I heard crackling. I thought it was again, it sounded like crackling, and it went on for seconds, like not just crackle, crackle, It went on for crackle, 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 crackle. Oh, you can really hear that. Now, my human brain, I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at my roof, right? I'm looking at the sky. I'm looking at the fence. I'm looking all around trying to figure out where this sound is coming from. It's a sound I've never heard before. Now, my human brain is saying to me, because it wants to make sense of everything, right? I mean, if we can't make sense of something then we get afraid. So it's best that the ego take control and keep us from getting afraid, doing something crazy. So my ego brain said, something's under the house, and that was a scratching. You know, you heard that noise 3 days ago, that bump, bump. In the same place. I was in the same place. So my ego brain said, Susan, something's under the house. Something's gotten trapped under your house. You need to open up one of those lattices so that it can get out. So I put the dog in the house. I go around where I knew that I had left one of them open, but I had barricaded it so she couldn't get under there. And I pulled the thing away from it so that I could get to it. And I just opened it by 2 foot, thinking, okay, whatever it is can get out. I came inside and I thought, Susan, you know that that's not true. You know there's nothing under that house. That wasn't scratching. That was crackling. Crackling. Like something is... Like if you took plastic or I don't know and you just broke it. It was just cracking. A cracking noise. Not crackling, cracking. So here I am over here trying to make sense of it, right? Which fine, whatever we have to do to get through our days so we don't go crazy. That's fine. Now, so the reason I'm telling you this is because these things might happen to you, right? You might start seeing things. You might start hearing things. You might start feeling things. You're not going crazy. I want to tell you, first of all, you're not going crazy. And second of all, I want to tell you that you're safe, that everything is okay. Okay? Don't live in fear. Now, I want to tell you that you can, and we probably should. We probably should get in the habit of just protecting ourselves, because there are good energy, there are bad energies out there. There really are. And if the veil is thin, then anything can come through, right? Doesn't really matter. Okay, so I don't want to scare you. Again, I don't want to scare you. But again, forewarned is forearmed. So how do you protect yourself? Well, I have videos on that, and I'm going to probably post one somewhere around here. But I'm going to tell you that regardless of whether you're religious or not, I don't care, I'll tell you my situation. My situation is that I don't particularly like organized religion. I just don't feel like I belong in organized religion. But I am a Christian, and I do believe in God. Okay, now, it doesn't matter what you may believe in the universe. You may believe in Mother Nature. You may believe in Buddha or Allah. I don't care who you believe in. But believe in something bigger, because there is something bigger, and there is a good something bigger. Okay? So in my case, I bring down God energy. I bring down Jesus energy, Mother Mary. I bring the archangels. So bring an archangel. You don't have to be Catholic. You don't have to be Christian to do this. The archangels are equal opportunity protectors. And the head archangel is Archangel Michael. Well, he's the head protector anyway. He's the archangel that has a weapon. So Archangel Michael can come to you just like this, and you don't have to worry that you've called him 20 times in the last 2 hours because something is going on. He'll come every time you call him. You're not taking him away from anybody. You're not hogging Archangel Michael. He can split into a zillion different pieces and then some. So it's just consciousness, people. It's just energy. You can have all the Archangel Michael you need. Okay? So I'm going to give you an example of when I had to call Archangel Michael just yesterday. Now, again, I'm a medium. What does that mean? That means I can see dead people. It means I can see ghosts. It means I can see energy. It means that it doesn't matter if the veil thins or not, because I can cross the veil. When the veil thins, they come to me unbidden. That's the problem with that. But regardless of whether the veil is thin or not, if I choose to, I can go across the veil and interact with those on the other side of the veil. Everybody but humans are on the other side of the veil. Okay, so I was walking my dog. I might put the video, I think I'm going to put a video here of what I saw. I didn't see it, don't get me wrong, but I saw this place that was haunted. I knew it was haunted. I felt that it was haunted. I thought about doing a video on it, and I videoed this. It's a greenhouse. It's a park, and then there's a chain link fence, and then there's a greenhouse on the other side that's part of this kind of mansion. Okay, this is a very old part of town, and it's this place was probably in the 1800s. This mansion, 1850s, let's just say, maybe 1880s. So I knew, I'm like, oh, there's some activity over there. I'm going to video this. Maybe I'll do a video. Maybe I won't. Right? So I did. And then I didn't think anything of it. And interestingly enough, the path is 10 yards away from this. And my dog, my spirit dog, keeps dragging me to this fence. And she makes me walk along this fence line. For the last many weeks that we've been going to this park, she always drags me there and makes me walk along the fence line. And I'm like, I just, again, human mind. This dog loves to hunt. She loves to smell possums and rabbits and anything at all, raccoons, doesn't matter. This is what she lives for. So I assumed this fence line was, obviously had a lot of leaves and things, and it's not, it's not manicured. So I thought this is why she's there. So today, this morning, I'm walking, again, being dragged over to this fence line. And when I got to the part where there's this greenhouse, or whatever it is, it looks like a greenhouse, I got a little bit of heebie-jeebies. Right now, this is different. Before I got ghost. Okay, well, they don't bother me, I don't bother them. This is kind of like a, one of those things. Well, in this case, I was like, ooh, there's a bigger energy there. I don't like it. So, of course, my dog Zoe's sniffing, taking her time. I'm like, come on, It's like, we got to go. I finally literally had to pull her. Now, of course, any other time in the house, she would have been freaking out. But now she's totally calm. I don't know why this is. I guess because she's not... That is why. She's not locked in a house. She doesn't feel safe in the house when other things are in the house with her. She feels better outside. So as I'm pulling her away, behind me is a thing, okay? It's a big thing. I thought it was a ghost. I'm still walking because, again, you guys, when it comes to ghost, I'm like, don't ask, don't tell. Don't bother me. I'm not going to bother you. Now, if you bother me, I'm going to deal with you. But I just thought we got a little too close for comfort. I did that video. I probably alerted them. They're coming to say, stop, stay away from here. And I'm like, I got your message. No problem. We aren't going to go by there again. I'm going to stay on the path. So I'm pulling my dog over to the path, and this darn thing is following me. Now, how do I know? Because I know. I'm a psychic and a medium. It's behind me about 10 yards, if that much. And so my dog, she's not alerted. She doesn't care. She's still looking for whatever she's looking for. So I'm walking, and I'm thinking, it's not going to follow me this far because we're getting, a little bit further away from the place where this thing lives, or I thought. And then I started tuning into it, and I thought, I don't, again, you guys, my ego mind, even my ego mind is constantly managing everything. So my ego mind is like, well, it's not really a ghost. It's not really a ghost. But it's not, it's not real bad, but it's not really a ghost, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. Well, that must be why it's following me, because I'm telling you, ghosts don't care. They're not going to follow you. They're going to stay in their house because they're safer in their house. So if something is outside of the house, outside of the grounds, because this place had grounds, and it's following you for like 20 yards, 50 yards, you got a problem. You need to deal with it. Okay, now how do you know you just have the heebie-jeebies? If you just have the heebie-jeebies, that's all you need to know. Okay, that's all you need to know. In my case, I could see it. In your case, you just may have a feeling. Okay, so here's the thing. I decided I'm going to turn around and face this thing, and I'm going to tell it to stop and to leave me alone, because this is what I usually do with ghosts, right? I just usually confront them, and then they go away, or if they want to be crossed over, I'll cross them over. Okay, but I turned around, and that's when I realized this thing was about 7 or 8 foot tall, which is really too tall for a ghost. Ghosts are not that tall. Really, the only thing I've ever seen 7 or 8 foot tall was an angel, but it was white, and this was dark. So this was a problem. And as I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I don't think I like that. I don't think I like it. Okay, so I'm like, all right, I turn back around, I start walking faster. I'm not running, but I'm walking faster. And I'm another 10 or 15 yards, and I'm realizing this thing is not going to stop. It's going to follow me all the way out of the park. My plan was to walk out of the park and then walk through a neighborhood and then double back and go home. So this thing is following me. I'm like, okay, wow. Let's see if it follows me out of the park. I'm trying to say to myself, right? I'm trying to, equivocate or explain away. Maybe it's in the park. And now all of a sudden the park is giving me the heebie-jeebies. I go to this park 3 times a week at least. I love this park. I've done readings in this park. I've read ghosts in this park. It's a beautiful park. The energy is always beautiful, but now it's like Halloween night. It's spooky. The energy is weird. I'm looking at the trees. Everything is just scary. Everything is off. Okay? Now, again, because my ego brain is involved in this, I'm thinking, the veil is thinning. That's all. It's just one of those days where it just feels kooky. Hello, I should have been concerned about the 8 foot tall dark thing behind me, but no, not me. I get to the park's boundary where we're going to go out of this park, and I realize it's following me. It's going to follow me, and I don't want to take this thing home. I don't need another hitchhiker. I don't need a friend. I don't need this. So then I thought, I'm really going to have to do something. I mean, I'd already faced it and said, go away, leave me alone. It didn't do anything. It didn't care. And now, when I decided that I needed to do something, so all of a sudden my ego brain has been shoved to the side because it's not handling this situation very well. And I look at it with my medium, my third eye. This thing is like Grim Reaper. It looks like the Grim Reaper. It's 8 foot tall. It's dark. It's got these robe thing. I'm getting chills. Sorry. This is the scary part. Fast forward if you don't want to hear this. I'm getting chills. It's got my hair is standing up on my arm, which didn't happen while I was there because I was in fight or flight mode, and I was in kind of fight mode myself. So, but as I describe it, I'm really understanding. So anyway, it had these black robes, no face, hood. It looked like the Grim Reaper. That's all I can tell you. And it did flash in my mind. Oh man, am I about to die? I did have to cross the street. I thought maybe this, and I was like, wait a minute, the Grim Reaper's not coming to kill me. I'm not, when I go, the Grim Reaper is not going to be who's going to show up, right? It's not. I know I'm of the light, and I know I'm protected by the light. So that's the first thing, right? To know that you are of the light and you're protected of the light. That protects you from everything, and frankly, it makes these things stop harassing you because they want you to be afraid. They live off of your fear. So if you say, and in here in your heart, I'm of the light, like, it's going to help you. So let me tell you what I did real quickly. I decided, well, I got to do something about this, right? I said, I've got to do something about this. So I turned back around, and I kept walking. And by this time, I was out of the park, I was across the street, and I was in the neighborhood. which means that I had gone about 25 yards, okay, since I decided that I needed to do something. So I called Archangel Michael, and he came in. This was great, actually. I love when this happens because sometimes it's a little different. He came in. So this entity, this being was let's say this being was like this, okay, and it was walking towards me. And Archangel Michael came in from the side and just took him out. And I could actually hear the thud, like, whew. It was great. And Archangel Michael basically took him out and removed him. And which is exactly what I needed to happen. And boom, it's done. It's over. I'm protected. I don't have to bring this thing home with me. So that was good. That was easy. Now, Archangel Michael has a sword, but for whatever reason, me personally, I just ask Archangel Michael to take them out in another way without the sword. Sometimes he has a club. Sometimes he just tackles them. Whatever. He has a whole bunch of different ways that he takes care of these energies for me. Okay. So 99.9% of the time, Archangel Michael is going to be your go-to person. So if you're having this experience and you walk by a place or you're in your house or wherever in the middle of the night, doesn't matter. If you have a heebie-jeebie experience where you're just like, oh, I don't know, something doesn't feel right, or let's even just say your cat is like looking, you know how they do? And you're like, what are they looking at, And it freaks you out, right? Go ahead and call Archangel Michael. Why not even just say a prayer? Say a prayer, may God protect me, may God send white light protection to envelope me, to protect me. I accept this protection right now. I accept this protection right now. Let it come into my body, let it come into my house, let it protect everything around me, my whole house. May the house be filled with white light. May the white light push out or take away anything that is dark. So it is. Amen. Thank you. Done. Okay? Say that 5 times if you have to feel better. Then call in Archangel Michael at the same time. Use your imagination, right? We use our imagination to envision Archangel Michael coming through the house and taking things out. Like I see Archangel Michael come in sometimes and he's got a Hoover vacuum and he vacuums all the ghosts off of the walls and the ceilings and, he's a Molly maid of ghosts. So, use what you have to use. See it, believe it, trust it. Okay? Because the fear is what they feed on. So be strong in your faith that there is a higher power, that there is a good power to protect you, and that it will protect you. And if you align yourself with that protection, with that universal God creator energy, it will protect you. Okay? You just have to believe it. Okay, so I don't know. I think this is all they want to tell you. All right, they want me to talk about aliens for a minute. Just for a minute. God, creator energy is what can protect you from aliens, okay? I mean, there's good aliens, there's bad aliens. Okay, we're going to have alien experiences. We are. You will. I promise you, you will. Might not be today. Most likely it's already been happening and you don't know it. It's subconscious. If you have an uneasy feeling around aliens, you don't like aliens, you've had experiences with aliens. There's no reason for you to be afraid of something if you've never experienced it. You've either experienced it in a past life or you're experiencing it in this life. Now, some people, I think there's 3 camps. Terrified of aliens or don't like aliens. Could care less, don't care. Love aliens. 3 camps. If you love aliens, great. Rock on. I love that. I love that you love them. I love that you've had good experiences with them. You will probably be called upon to be ambassadors, emissaries, to help us talk to them, explain what they are, explain that there are good ones. Maybe you will be one of the people that have discernment, that help us discern which is a good alien and which is a bad alien. Right? That is the key. I need to have a whole nother video on discernment. I'm going to have a whole nother video on discernment. I keep saying that, but I really need to have it because people I know that are very discerning are getting duped. Are getting duped by these energies. This is going on. I guess I need to do a video on this. Okay. But for you watching this video, if you're still watching this video at 35 minutes, congratulations, you deserve a medal. And if you watch this long, why aren't you subscribing? I hope you're a subscriber, because if you could put up with me for 35 minutes, you really need to be a subscriber. But aliens, I got mixed up in some bad aliens for whatever reason. I think it's a past life thing. Contract, some kind of soul contract, past life thing. Anyway, has that ever kicked my butt? It has kicked my butt. But here's the thing. I'm going to just cut to the chase. Here's the thing. If you have had bad experience with aliens, who can help you is God. God consciousness. Jesus consciousness. Maybe Allah, Buddha, I don't know. All I know is that for me, it's God. I had to bring in God consciousness into this house, into me, in a way that I hadn't been doing consciously, right? Again, I'm not into organized religion. It's not like I pray every day. I just don't. But I will now, because I need to, during this time of the thinning veil, and the discernment being a problem, we're going to have to align. We're just going to have to really align ourselves with God in a new way. That is what protects you from aliens. In this particular case, in my experience, Archangel Michael did not protect me. And you gotta know something. I've been bothered by all of these energies my whole life. I know how to protect myself. I know how to block. I can block with the best of them. I can have a ghost sitting at my table and not even know it because I block. Okay? But I couldn't block these aliens. I couldn't. There was no way. I mean, I was the one letting them in when I was sleeping. So I had to go. The only thing that worked for me was God consciousness. I brought God consciousness down, and God consciousness took them out. It blocked them. It keeps them at bay. I now have a huge bubble of not just white light, but God consciousness white light, and it keeps all of that stuff at bay. And I continue to replenish that beautiful God consciousness energy in me and in my house, and I also send it out to the world. Okay, I send it out to the world as well. So that's what I want to say about that. I'm going to do a whole video on discerning because this is a really big deal. It's a really big deal, and it's our biggest challenge coming at us. So anyway, I hope this video was interesting, informative, maybe even just entertaining, and that's fine too, right? Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Susan Lynn, Psychic Medium. I do offer classes, and with Medium Kim, who's somebody else you might want to check out on YouTube, is a great channel. Medium Kim, all one word. And I also offer readings. I do live videos where I chat with you directly on Sundays at noon Central on Allie's channel, which is Heart and Soul Connected on YouTube. That's Sundays at noon Central. It's a live, and I do a live video on Thursday nights at 7:30 Central with Jen's World Tarot. Jen's World Tarot and I, it's a basically psychic hilarity. If you haven't checked it out, you might want to. It's a lot of fun. And on Sundays with Heart and Soul Connected, I answer your spiritual questions, and I connect you to your loved ones on the other side as well in real time. That's Sundays at noon on Heart and Soul Connected. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. You guys have a great day today. Take care. Lots of self-care. Drink water. Be outside in nature. Take care of yourself. Okay, we need to really protect ourselves by doing a lot of self-care. It'll raise your vibration. It'll make you happier. And raising your vibration helps everybody around you as well. So hopefully you'll take that into consideration. You guys take care. We'll talk soon.